and you want to create your own fake rock, I'm going to show you how. I'm really excited because this is a project that I told my dad I was going to create a rock for him, and it has been 3 years. So finally I'm gonna do it, and I'm really happy. We went to this place where they sell rocks, and they are super heavy and they're super expensive. So I'm gonna show you a really easy way that pretty much anyone can do it. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not a professional. Make sure always to use gloves and a mask with your cement projects, and do your own research. I'm just showing you what it worked for me, but sometimes, most likely, if you have been following, I don't recommend a lot of things the way I do it. This is not that kind of a channel. So we need just two materials to create this rock. The first one is cement mix. So I love to use this mortar mix, which is Portland cement and sand. This is gonna be perfect for any project. I'm gonna show you over here the picture of the brand that I use. This is not a sponsor. This is a great product. It's cheap, and I like it. So I have to say that I wasn't sure how many bags. So right away I'm gonna tell you that I use 5.5. I had a little bit of leftover of one bag of when I was repairing my concrete pumpkin sculpture, and you can check this here. That's how many bags of cement I use. The second and most important material is a simple box. I was surprised. For many years I've known that you can use cardboard to create many projects, and it's just cheap, easy to use. I even have a project that it was a complete failure, that I tried to create a hammer, specifically the Thor hammer, and I may go back to that project and try to finish, just in case someone wants to know some tips. Also remember to stay until the end because I'm gonna give extra tips. Let's start with just our box. The reality is that I had more than one box because I wanted to do a rock, not huge but not small. You can only have, if you want, one box, and it will be enough to create a decent size rock. So what I did after having my boxes is to put them together, to tape them, to build them, to make sure that everything is sealed. I had my cat trying to help me, which was a nightmare, not creating the box, but my cat. But for sure, just you tape it like if you were packaging something. After you have your box completely sealed, you can use that. Like I said, I use more than one, so I was trying to see the shape. Something that I didn't do is probably I would have looked to actual rock and tried to figure out the shape, but I thought I knew how a rock is, so yeah, that wasn't a good idea. Something that I wanted to do is I cut one of the box and I put the other one inside, and this is because I just wanted to make sure that I can use part of the box to just make sure that it will hold together. Just in my mind, it will be just more stable. I put more tape, and I was seeing that it was too square. I used some extra boxes just to try to create some shape. Now I have to say that I completely run out of tape. I didn't have more, and this is gonna be a little bit of a problem, but just so you know, you may need more tape. And I'm gonna show you just the final result. This is my box rock, and I can turn it around and you can see how the boxes are. And now it's time to shape it, because you can see it's really just boxes. So there's many ways you can do this. Usually they say to use something that has like a big surface that you can hit your box with that. I just had a hammer, so I started kind of just going around, but it wasn't doing the result that I wanted. So I started just punching it, kicking it, and that actually wasn't that bad. Just I had a problem in one corner. I pressed it too hard, and where the tape was, kind of the stability of that box, I completely destroyed it. Even one part of the tape, no, it was kind of glued together with the tape, and that just opened, and I didn't have more tape to close it back down. And that's really bad because you don't want to have cement on those holes. You want to make sure that your cement is used on the best way. That's why the first step was to seal everything with tape, all the holes. And that happened to me. I could have done many things, but I'm gonna show you the box, how it was destroyed. I could have continued. I think it was giving me good shape, but I was worried that other parts will open. I didn't have, no, like I mentioned before, I didn't have more tape, so I decided just to leave it like that, which wasn't the best idea, and you'll see at the end pretty much that what happened. So now that we have our shape, it's time to use our cement mix. I will really suggest to start with a little bit of water and just try to add as you go until you get something like this that is like a peanut butter. I have to say that it was really hot this day, and I tried to put a little bit more water. You could get away with a little bit less. The point is that if you can create something like that I'm doing with my hand, and it stays together, you are kind of have a good mix. And let's start putting the cement. It was amazing. I was surprised how the box actually kind of glue itself with the cement without issues. I was afraid that it wasn't gonna stay on the cardboard, but it did really easy. And I went around and I was able just to create that surrounding area that will help me so the box won't move, and I can just apply and apply my mix. And then the next step is to try to cover everything else. The first layer is gonna always be just to cover the shape. And over here, that's what I'm doing. And I have to say that over here we're not using any kind of rebars or any kind of metal bones that will hold the shape. No, that's why we're using the box, which we know is not really that strong. The cement is gonna be really strong, but if it doesn't have something to prevent to like bend or that grab everything together, it will break. So something that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this tape. There's more use on construction for many type of project, but I have to say that I found it on the aisle where they have plaster. So that's where you can find this tape, and pretty much it's a grid that is plastic. I use it to create my pumpkin, and I love it. Over here I'm applying it on a different way than my pumpkin. Usually I cut one and then I put some cement on top. So I decided just to cut big pieces, and after I have all my big pieces, I start just to putting it around. And sometimes it's really easy because you still have the cement that is fresh. So if you grab a little bit of water, that you always have to have a bucket of water on the side, and you can just grab a little bit with tip of your fingers and you put it on top, and you will see how it kind of will fuse. Fusing every single one was a little bit harder than what I thought. I think the best thing, I did it later that I'm gonna show you. But over here, something that I didn't realize, I was putting the cement, and only watching the video, the part where I kick it too hard and I destroyed the stability, actually because of the weight it was going down, I'm just keep trying to completely cover the piece. And I added some chicken wire. I'm gonna need to put some cement to create like a rounded shape, which that's why the best thing is to have the perfect shape at the beginning before starting with the cement. But of course, like I said, that's not that kind of a channel. It was really hot, and never in my life I had experienced this, but the cement was just drying so fast. I had to completely get done with this day, and next day I came back and it's completely dry. Right now I'm just trying to move it. I'm trying to see if it is heavy enough, or I mean, if I'm gonna be able to move it, because this is not gonna stay. This is my house, but I'm gonna move it to my dad's house. So I was just trying to see if I can grab it with one hand. It did happen, so I was ready to create more cement mix and do another layer. One important thing, remember always, is to have water if you want to put cement with cement, enough water. But I was thinking of what I can do with this kind of big holes, because I don't want to put more cement. I know that if certain part has a lot of cement, probably the stability of the full thing is not gonna work. And the most important thing, I wanted to try at least to give a more rounded shape. It was gonna be a lot of ways. Try to cover those holes. They're not really holes, but those parts. So I went and I grabbed some styrofoam. I grabbed my chicken wire, but I know that the chicken wire, there's many sizes, and you can get like a grid that is really tiny, and that those are hard, and those are really useful. Already I wasn't realizing that my camera was moving. But basically what I put was more styrofoam, egg carton, like you can see, and I just started putting a mesh, not completely, without putting anything, without putting cement. You can see over here, I'm gonna show you, this is still the styrofoam and the other cardboard. And yes, I know that I have cement already. This is gonna maybe create a bubble. I don't know what kind of a problem it will be in the future. So something that you have to think. I don't know, I'm hoping that it's not gonna be really a big deal, but I should have done this way before starting putting cement, the first layer. Now I'm just gonna start, like you see, usually with a spatula probably it's easier. I've seen amazing people do it and they get really clean. Like I said, this is not that kind of a channel. I have cement everywhere, even on my camera. I don't even know how, if it is far away. This tape moves around. So for sure, it was easier when I took the time to really try to fuse into the first layer of cement. But the reality is that this was so easier and way faster. The first day it broke my back, and over here it was just so easy. Like you can see, I had to put more water because it was just drying so fast. It's another day that we are over 100 degrees. It was I don't even know how much, but it was really hot. Like you can see with my hands, just slowly trying to shape, not only put in the cement, trying to give kind of a rock. I don't know, I've seen so many, but basically over here I'm gonna put on the side, just show you that usually this is how I do it. I even grab, usually on the bottom is gonna be a little bit more liquidy cement because all the water also stays on the bottom. So even if you put cement on the bottom, it will, some will touch with the water. So you can use that, you can grab it and just use it as a glue and to go all around, and that could help you. No, also if you see like cracks or things like that, it will help. So after going slowly going, I decided from the other side I needed to put another layer of this tape because I know that this tape is gonna really put everything together. It's gonna make it really strong. No, I'm gonna try at the end to stand on the rock. I don't know if it's gonna break. I'm not a tall person, but I'm not really skinny, so I don't know what will happen. But you will see at the end. I did another mix. I put a little bit more water because it was drying so fast, and that's a little bit of a mistake. It was runny and it wasn't helping. But pretty much that's it. I have, this is completely dry, and this is another day because like I said, the heat was just really hard to keep working on it. I think I need to transform on a Super Saiyan to really lift it up because it was so heavy, and I couldn't believe that only with one more layer it was like 3 times heavier. I don't know, not the first time I did it with one hand. This time it wasn't that way. So I'm gonna show you this tool which I love because this one, remember, we use mortar. You don't want to use regular cement mix because it has aggregate and has these big rocks. So the mortar, because it doesn't have these big rocks, is a little bit more fragile, but also allow you to just go with this tool, smooth everything. I'm gonna put some examples, hopefully you can see it, the before and after, but basically that will help me to completely smooth everything. And because after I smooth everything, I'm gonna put my last layer. This is gonna be the last layer. So one of the things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color this layer, and there's many techniques to color, but 3 years ago that I told my dad I was gonna create this rock for him, I also bought this bottle of paint that is supposed to be specifically created for cement. So the way you use it is you pour it into your water, and you mix it first with the water, and then you use that water to create your layer. Because I already had experience putting so many layers, I already kind of know how much water. So at the end I had to add a little bit more, but I create my mix, and it's time now because I also kind of sanded the mortar with this tool. I kind of throw more water to be able to put my first layer, but I try to get rid of that kind of dust. No, you can of course try to use a brush or something to make sure that you completely clear that. I don't think you really have to be really perfect. I create my mix. So over here I'm putting my color, I'm putting the whole bottle. They say that you only need half of the bottle, but some people say that if you use only half of the bottle, the color is not gonna be really that strong. So I really wanted to have a strong color, so I just put the whole bottle and see what will happen. Over here, because it's the last layer, usually I don't put anything, but I just wanted to make sure that it was gonna be as strong as possible. So I put more tape and I start putting my mix. I have to add a little bit more water. I add a little bit of water on my cement too instead of the rock, and that has worked in the past with me to just be able to press and slide the cement. And slowly I start putting everywhere. So I'm gonna show you some photos at the end. And this is pretty much how you finish your rock. I'm gonna give you some tips just in case you're doing a project like this. The first one, I'm gonna talk about clothes. Use the clothes that you don't like, the clothes that you won't regret losing when working with cement. The next step is gonna be that and it was a good idea to punch and to make that box kind of push it together, compress it. But something that I should have done, and that actually professional and people, what they do, they cut some cardboard and they, to that piece, they put it on top to create those round shapes. That you can use tape, but the way they do it with nails. And I was thinking, no, that I could have done that. I could have used staplers, maybe. I don't know. But the point is that you can create the shape of the rock. That you're gonna see at the end, my rock. The reality is that it still looks like a box. I think I'm gonna, after I have help from my brothers, to lift this rock and try to move it to my dad's house, which probably is gonna be in a few weeks. So I'm not gonna show you, but I think I'm gonna add another layer and I'm gonna completely try to make it rounded, no, so it looks more like a rock. Depends on what my dad says. But the point is that you want to really have the shape of the rock that you want. So remember, after you have your box completely taped and you squish it and you punch it, add another layer. This is gonna even make it stronger, and you can just get ready for your cement. Another thing that I did is that I work outside, and that was a big mistake. First of all, every single day I had to blow away the leaves. There were bugs and things that just get in there. So that was also took me time to be cleaning almost every day. Being really hot outside, no, in my garage I could have maybe put a fan or something, but outside the cement was just not really workable really good because it was just too hot, no, and when it's hot, cement just cure faster than when it's cooler. Another thing with the meshes, no, yes, I use a tape, but also, and I couldn't find it. I tried to find it on my local store. Maybe they were out that day. I asked someone, but it wasn't really helpful. But basically, they exist, no, in your hardware store, and they exist meshes that are completely like big squares, and you don't have to be caught in a small one. More in projects that are this big, or even if you do bigger ones, just get this big square, and it will be just so easy just to put them, and it's just so helpful. And another tip, like I mentioned, you can have a bucket of water, but it has to be a clean water that is going to be for you. It's going to be for your tools. It's going to be for your hands, like to be able to record and pause, or just to be able to cut these tapes. I didn't want to have all the cement all the time on my hand, so I used the water to wash my hands, my gloves, and then I could do things. So that's really useful. Another thing, after you're done with your cement, the water that you have, do not put into your drain, because you're gonna destroy it. It's gonna create a bowl of cement, and it's just a nightmare. So what you can do is just, there's places where you actually can dump things, but I will suggest you can just throw it in your garden. Some people have done that. If someone knows a better way, please comment below. Another tip that I can give you, keep watching my list of cement sculptures so you can learn more or have an idea. The reality is that I was gonna do this project with the styrofoam, with wire. Even one of the things that I was thinking for something that big was just to bag. You can do the same thing. You don't even need cardboard. But I have to say, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. I found this amazing person. He's a professional that really create rocks, and you can see how he does it, and he looks like he does it on a so easy way, and you can see all the wrong things that I did. So if you want to check, he has more experience, and probably you can learn more from him. But it's just this experience kind of open completely opportunities, because I always had so many ideas. Every single day I have so many ideas of things that I would like to sculpt, but the reality is money and time. I cannot do it. But for sure, with this technique, now I can think I can really go for certain sculptures that that I really wanted to do. It. One is like a robot, start with an M, and that's what a favorite cartoon when I was a kid, and more my older brother. So I want to create it, and because of the cardboard is flat, it will allow me to do those robot pieces. So that's something that I really gonna try to do. So wait for that. I'm thinking that I do too many things, and that's why my channel is just has a so slow grow. So I have thinking of just doing one thing, just I don't know, sculpt something small that's gonna be cheaper, and I can do it every at least every week. But I don't know. No, I enjoy so much working with cement and other things. So I don't know. I don't know. But it has been difficult creating my channel. One tip that I can give you too is that sometimes they say that you can mix a lot of things with cement. And what I'm talking about, they're liquids. I'm gonna put a photo over here. I don't remember how they call, but basically this will help to bound all the cement together, and it will just be better for your sculptures. But the reality is that more money, sometimes you don't really need it. Something that is a really good substitute, you can use glue, white glue. No, it's cheaper probably to buy a big container of white glue, and you can use that. Other thing that I didn't show it because I didn't go over the whole piece because I didn't have enough, is I put some glue. Before putting my cement, I put a little bit of glue. Instead of putting on my cement mix, I put it on top of the box. And I can see that it helped a little bit to put in those parts, to put the cement. You want to kind of hold more. So you can go maybe around your piece and put the glue. That could help. But like I said, I didn't show in the video because you can see it, but I didn't use it everywhere. No, I didn't have enough. So that's another of the tips that I can give you. This was useful. Share, like, comment, and enjoy art. And please tell me what you thought about it. Does it look like a box? Maybe it does, but hopefully I want to be able to fix it. So most important thing, enjoy art and see you next time. Bye. You let me record. Just a second, okay? A second. Please. Please.